We'll be starting in about 2 minutes, everyone. Feel free to grab a healthy lunch if you like and listen in. Well, good afternoon and welcome everyone on this rainy day. I hope you're enjoying the cold weather and staying warm in some way. So welcome to Eat Well Bites. I'm Julie Chavdi, the Associate Director of Health and Wellbeing Program with the WorkWell Center and your host for today. The USC Healthy Campus Eat Well Subcommittee is pleased to sponsor today's topic on Eat Well on Campus, exploring healthy food options here at USC. Throughout today's session, you're welcome to make comments or ask questions in the chat, and we'll also have some time for a live Q&A at the very end, specific to today's topic. We'll also share some announcements, ask you to fill out an evaluation survey, and we'll have a raffle prize. So enjoy, and please stay muted to minimize any background noise. I'd like to thank the Eat Well co-leads, Professor Carrie Kreutzer with the USC Leonard Davis School of Gerontology and Keck School of Medicine, as well as Lindsay Pine, dining dietitian with USC Hospitality. And on behalf of our Eat Well subcommittee, we're excited to introduce you to our monthly Eat Well series, which is a bite-sized nutrition education webinar with the goal of providing you with practical tips, hands-on demonstrations, and resources to improve your health and quality of life through nutrition and healthy eating. Over the next 30 minutes, you'll hear from experts in this area, as well as engaging you in conversation. Also, thank you to the subcommittee members of Eat Well. This committee has been working super hard to create a health promoting food environment here at USC. As always, I like to invite you to feel free to move during today's session. You're welcome to stand, stretch, do whatever you like to move in a manner that feels best for you. And with that, I would like to introduce our presenters for today. We have Lindsay Pine, registered dietitian, USC Hospitality, as well as myself. And with that, I'll turn it over to Lindsay.
All right. Thanks, Julie. You can hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. So I'm going to be navigating the diverse campus dining options, offering insights into the most nutrient-rich selections and the new Eat Well branded meal program. And then Julie will spend a few minutes highlighting ways to provide healthier food options at meetings and events. So I want you to type a word or maybe a few words into the chat box that come to mind when you think of the word healthy. So what does that mean to you? Any sort of words, keywords that pop out in your mind when you think of that? Oh, wow. Oh, boy. You guys are writing a lot here. Veggies, heart, good for you. Fiber, nutritious, plant-based. I've seen a lot of plant-based here. Balance, that's my favorite word. Wow. Okay. These are great. Okay. Oh, I love these answers. Okay. Nutrient rich. Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to ask you this because the word healthy is so subjective. What you consider to be healthy for you isn't necessarily going to be healthy for me and vice versa. We're all individuals. We have different requirements. So for today's conversation, we're going to be focusing on balance and not specific diets or styles of eating. So next slide, please. Okay, so I want to start off with directing you to the USC Hospitality website. So this site has so much food and nutrition information. Many of the articles on here focus on incorporating healthy, balanced habits into your life. So it's not just about necessarily the food on campus, but general nutrition and cooking tips as well. And if you have a question about the food on campus or just a general nutrition question, you have a direct line to me. there's an Ask the Dietitian contact form on that website, and it goes straight to me. So don't hesitate to reach out. Next slide. Oh, wait a second. I think we're one ahead. Sorry.
Oh,
Can you
okay.
go back one?
Yep.
Yes.
Do you want to go back to this one or?
No, let's go forward one.
Okay.
Okay, so we're still on the hospitality website here. And this is just to show you where to get the information that I'm going to be talking about today. So I'll be talking about the new Eat Well meals in our campus venues, as well as the Healthier Dining on Campus guide, which not only lists the Eat Well meals, but also discusses other options that might not necessarily fit into those guidelines, but they're still better for you choices. And so all of these, websites, these links, these guides, they will be sent to you in an email after this webinar. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so we're going to talk about the guidelines here. So the Eat Well branded meals launched in late October of this past year, and it's a collaboration between USC Campus Dining and USC Healthy Campus. These guidelines are on the website location I just showed you, and it also talks about where these meals can be found. So that's going to be at Seeds Marketplace, Taco Taco, Panda Express, C&G Juice Company, Bolognaise, and Cafe Annenberg, and then Taco Taco and Panda Express over at HSC. So in order to be branded an Eat Well meal, it has to fit within these guidelines on the screen, which include calories, saturated fat, added sugar, sodium, no fried food, and making sure the item contains at least one serving of fruit, veggies, whole grains, or legumes. So the guidelines were developed by myself with input from other USC dietitians, the Dietary Guidelines for Americans, Culinary Institute of America's Menus of Change, and then a whole slew of other universities. So a lot of research went into developing these guidelines. So with the guidelines, we wanted to focus on balance, nutrient-rich ingredients, flavor, and then the aspects of ingredients that could lead to increased risk of chronic disease. So those being added sugar, saturated fat, and sodium. Now, something you may notice is that we do not list the nutritional content of the individual menu items on our website for a very important reason, and that's for the benefit of our students. We have a very large population of disordered eating amongst the young people here, and displaying that information can be very triggering and detrimental to their college experience and their health. So we want them focusing on school and not obsessing over numbers of calories and carbs and things like that. So therefore, our messaging really focuses on fueling your day and balance. And I'm so glad I saw that word balance show up so many times in the chat when you were thinking of healthy words. I know some of you might want more of that numerical information, and if you really want it, you can contact me through that Ask the Dietitian portal on the hospitality website, and I can help you out. Next slide, please. So I see a comment there. I just want to address this real quick, that the sodium still seems high. So you have to understand this is a restaurant situation. That was probably the item that was hardest for us to get into a guideline. So if, let's say, the recommendation per day for sodium is what, 2,400 milligrams a day, you divide that into 3, you still have some room there in the day. So again, balance, you're not going to necessarily be eating that much sodium in every single meal, and just trying to make that fit into a restaurant situation. So, okay, so moving on there. Let's look at what the food looks like for these Eat Well meals. So when you look at the menus on the Campus Dining mobile ordering app and the in-store kiosks, you'll know something is an Eat Well item because the title of the dish has the word Eat Well in front of it. And then also you'll see that icon, the Eat Well icon that you see on the right of your screen there, that will also be next to the item. Next slide, please. All right, so let's look at some pretty food pictures. So first up, we have Bolognaise. We have the Pomodoro pasta and the chopped salad. And yes, pasta can be included in a balanced diet. Both of these items are very filling. They're super fresh. And for the amount of food you get, it's a good value. I've tried both of them. They're very tasty. And both of these options happen to be plant-based as well. And if you watched our webinar last night about eating for planetary health, one of the easiest changes that we can make as individuals in lowering carbon emissions is to eat more plant-based foods. Next slide. Okay, so on the left there, Seeds Marketplace has a couple of delicious Eat Well breakfast items. That Buddha bowl is probably my favorite Eat Well item overall. You've got a really nutrient-dense and filling bowl with eggs, quinoa, roasted sweet potatoes, roasted cauliflower, avocado, pickled onions. So that's a packed bowl. And you know, most people don't get enough fiber in a day. So starting the day off with something like that will get you off to a great start. The egg white and veggie scramble is right above that. I don't even like the taste of egg whites, but that's a pretty tasty bowl. To the right of that, you'll see some options from C&G Juice Company. So we have a variety of smoothies that fit the guidelines, as well as the Mother Nature green juice. Next slide. Okay, so here we also have, let's see here. I'm going to look at the taco bowl in the lower right-hand corner there. So that's the guacamole bowl with beans, rice, veggies, greens, and a big old scoop of guacamole. This one also is plant-based. It's also served at the HSC Taco as well. At Seeds, they have 4 different Eat Well salads, as well as a roasted chicken salad at Cafe Annenberg. You'll see that picture on the top. Not pictured there, Cafe Annenberg also has a white bean and farro soup as well that fits. So with all of the Eat Well salads, they come with a special dressing that's customized just for this program. It's a raspberry maple thyme vinaigrette. It's made fresh. Something that's not on the Campus Dining mobile ordering app as of today, but I've been told it will be there next week, is the option to choose that Eat Well salad dressing for any salad and not just for the Eat Well salads. Now, let me ask you a question here before we move on to the next slide. Can anyone guess which cafe on campus is the most popular? Type that into the chat. Which one do you think is the most popular cafe on campus? I see Taco, Starbucks. Kava's not USC. Kava's across the street. Okay, so I see Lemonade's not there anymore. Okay, so I see multiple people wrote Panda Express. You are correct if you said Panda Express. They are the most popular cafe on campus. Luckily, we do have a couple of options at Panda Express that are considered Eat Well. So Panda actually has their own wellness program. It's called Walk Smart. And you can look at that information on their own corporate website, but they only look at calories and protein for their program. So under our Eat Well program, which looks at sodium, added sugar, and saturated fat, you can actually get the string bean chicken or the broccoli beef as a single entree. Or you can make it a combo with steamed rice, or you can do the broccoli beef with the mixed veggies. So if I combine the string bean chicken and the mixed veggies, unfortunately, that doesn't make the Eat Well guidelines for sodium. So that's why it's not included there. But you know, if the sodium part is not quite as important to you, it's not quite as much of a concern, then that could still be a good choice. If sodium is a big concern for you, then perhaps the string bean chicken with the steamed rice would be a better option. Next slide, please. So on the left there is a picture of the Healthier Dining on Campus guide, and it lists a ton of additional information besides just the Eat Well branded meals. And this guide will also be sent to everybody after the webinar. So it gives you suggestions on how you can customize menu options and includes both UPC and HSC. And I also want to point out that the guide has tips for ordering beverages at Starbucks as well, and also a balanced plate handout. And I love this balanced plate handout, which is based off of my plate, where you take your plate, make it half full of veggies and fruit, quarter starch or grain, quarter protein. It's a really easy to use model that you can use anywhere. And on that handout, there's also some additional ways to add more nutrients to your plate as well. So that handout will also be sent to you after the webinar. Next slide. So both of these blurbs that you see on the screen from Fertitta Cafe and La Cafe, those are just examples from the Healthier Dining Guide. And I wanted to show you an example of how you can use that when you order. So on the left, you'll see screenshots of the Campus Dining mobile ordering app. So the guide tells you that Fertitta Cafe has a lighter option for their bibimbap rice bowl. So it's good if you're looking for something not quite as large as a regular one. So you can see that option is on the app. Also, the guide tells you that you have the option of choosing a house salad as a base, or even brown rice. And you can see that on the app as well. So one of the main purposes of that guide is to give you nuggets of advice on customizing your meal to make it work better for you. Next slide. So Farmer's Fridge. Farmer's Fridge is actually a vending machine full of salads in a jar. And they're actually a lot larger than they look in that jar. And from what I've been hearing from customers, they're quite filling. You can find these machines at Harris Hall and the Cal building over at UPC, and then also over at the Soto building and Seaver Hall on the HSC campus. And also be sure to bring back your jar to the machine because it will then be recycled. Next slide. So next I want to talk about Positive Foods. This is a local company that I absolutely love. We have a whole line of their grab and go meals at Seeds Marketplace. And these items are super delicious, very helpful when you're needing something fast and on the go and healthy. They're produced locally in South LA. They're very transparent with easy to read ingredient lists of whole foods, full of veggies, whole grains, lean proteins. I'm also quite impressed with the minimal amount of sodium that they were able to do for their products. So if you're on a lower sodium diet, those meals are great ones to check out. And a fair number of their items actually fit our Eat Well guidelines as well. You'll see that on the top box on the screen there. And an honorable mention goes to that hummus meze box only because the saturated fat was like just a tad over the guidelines, but I would still choose that option often. It's a tasty one, especially if you like garlic. Next slide, please. Oh wait, sorry, hold on, don't go to the next slide. Okay. Okay, so before moving on, I think we're going to put up a poll now. So poll question is, okay, have you ever eaten in any of our residential dining halls before? Yes or no? I'm seeing mostly no so far. Okay, I don't think this is going to change too much. So it looks like 2/3 of you say no, and a third of you have eaten in our dining halls. Okay, so we can move on to the next slide. Okay, I see this, there's the question in the chat that says, are they open to staff and faculty? Well, I'm happy to say that yes, they are open to staff, faculty, and their guests. And in my opinion, they're such a hidden gem on campus because most staff and faculty don't realize that they can eat there. Actually, residential dining is my go-to for lunch on most days. They have fantastic salad bars that would rival any Whole Food salad bar. They have whole grains, lots of veggies, lean proteins, plant-based protein. In fact, the USC Village Dining Hall has an entire station that's 100% plant-based. And we're still one of the only colleges in the country that has something like that. So you can actually go onto the hospitality website, check out all of the daily menus in advance there and see if anything looks good to you. I completely understand that staff and faculty may not want to eat in a busy dining hall, but you don't have to because in addition to in-person dining, to-go food is also available. With our reusable container program that's in partnership with a company called Useful. So you just sign up for that program on the Useful app. And then when you come to the dining hall, you just tell the cashier you want a to-go meal. They'll give you a bowl and a cup, fill it up, and you're on your way. All you need to do is just return that container to any dining hall within 48 hours of checking it out. So actually on the slide there is the top left is probably one of my favorite dishes of all time on campus, and that's at the Village. It's a plant-based mushroom pozole. Oh my gosh, so delicious. I actually wish they were serving it today because that would be great for a rainy day like today. Next slide, please. Okay, so we're going to move on to HSC real quickly here. So just a disclaimer here, USC Hospitality actually does not operate all the food venues at HSC. So here's the few that we do operate besides Starbucks. The screenshots here are directly from the Healthier Dining Guide. So you can see HSC has that Eat Well guacamole bowl, but there are other ways that you can customize your item there to make it on the healthier side, as listed in the guide as shown. Also, the HSC Panda Express even has a brown rice option. They still have the string bean chicken and the broccoli beef, which are part of the Eat Well program. We just don't have that officially listed on the ordering app yet. That's coming soon, but just know that those are the same things. Plaza Marketplace has some freshly prepared customizable salads. So for example, you'll see listed on the ordering app, the option maybe to have your dressing on the side or no cheese, for example. So that guide just has so many little tips and tricks on there. Next slide. Okay, so before I pass things along to Julie, I wanted to mention catering and special events team. If you have a meeting or a special event, their team can work with you on a menu that can meet your wellness needs, including plant-based menus and allergen-friendly menus, which we're seeing a rise in those types of requests. Also, I mean, very importantly, the university is encouraging all of us to plan zero waste events, and this team is definitely a leader in that area. You can even hold your event in the newly revamped teaching garden behind the USC Hotel. It is such a beautiful space full of organically grown fruits and veggies that are actually also used in the menus as well. And I want to give a plug to this guy in the picture. That's Executive Chef Keith, and he's going to be in our Eat Well Bites webinar in April, where we'll have a demo centered around budget-friendly cooking. Lastly, if you need food for your meeting and you need it delivered with 48 hours notice, the University Club restaurant on campus can help you out. And that information, along with our catering and private events info, is on the hospitality website. So now I'm going to pass it over to you, Julie.
Great. Thank you so much, Lindsay. Oh my gosh, I'm so hungry now looking at all these wonderful photos and can't wait to try some of these Eat Well meals myself. So thank you so much, Lindsay, for all your hard work and really making this happen. So now let's talk about meetings. I just have 2 slides, and I know that we have so many meetings, Zoom, in person, hybrid, and how many times do we have food at meetings? Pretty much all the time. So think about what kinds of foods you're offering to your meeting participants. Are they balanced? Are there activity breaks when you organize meetings so that your participants can move and stand and stretch? And are they coordinated with sustainability in mind? So to support you, we have this guide called Healthy Meeting and Events Guide, which provides you with different ideas for food selection, for activity breaks, and also for some sustainability considerations, and can be used for those that are working, living, and studying on campus or even remote. And this guide was developed in collaboration with hospitality, rec sports, dining, environmental health and safety, and also our Office of Sustainability. So make sure to check out that guide on our website. And just to go over some of the things for you to consider when organizing a meeting, we're at USC all day long, and we're constantly eating our meals and snacks on campus. And so it's so important to just consider what you are offering and making the healthy choice available to participants. So when possible, offer water so that your participants can stay hydrated, or at least let them know where the nearest reusable water refill station is, and avoid soft drinks or sugar sweetened beverages. Offer a variety of fruits and vegetables, especially the ones that are in season, and consider serving fruit instead of traditional desserts, or have fruit as an option. When offering whole grains or breads like sandwiches and rice, look for the whole grain option, brown rice, whole wheat bread. Offer lean protein and at least one plant-based option like a tofu-based dish. Serve sources of healthy fats such as nuts and be mindful of portion sizes. And when ordering for your meetings, ask for dressing sauces on the side so that participants can use what they need. Remember food safety guidelines and not leave food out for more than 2 hours. And also build into your meeting agenda time to eat so that your participants are not rushed and that they can be nourished and really happy and have that time to also socially connect during the lunchtime. Again, plan activity breaks for movement, stretching, standing, or even mind breaks. For sustainability, look at ways to prevent waste when ordering. Consider donating leftovers or composting them into the various bins throughout campus. And if you're having a meeting that doesn't fall within the lunch hour, assess whether or not you really need to offer food or maybe it's just having water available. And then finally, reminding participants that may be coming off campus that USC is a smoke and tobacco-free campus. Also wanted to make some announcements before we open it up to Q&A. The Eat Well subcommittee is seeking recipes for our faculty and staff cookbook. So please submit recipes. We like to showcase and highlight our campus community's rich cultures, your cooking skills, and various resources to help support balanced meals throughout USC. So submit those recipes, and we hope to have a cookbook out in the summer. The rest of the Eat Well Bites series will continue through spring as well as summer and fall based on popular demand. Our next one is March 7th with Rachel Suba, who is Director of Sports Nutrition in Athletics. And she'll share her expertise around how to design a nutrition plan to optimize performance. So what should you be eating before, during, and post activity? And she's the one we can ask about the little Galen. I saw that question earlier in the chat, which I'm sure Rachel can maybe do a private tour or something for those that are interested. So with that, I'd like to open up to questions. Lindsay, I have a couple questions for you.
Yeah, I actually went through the chat while you were talking and note of them. So yeah, that little Galen question for asking if they'll be reopening for non-athletes. I don't think they have any plans to, but that is definitely a question that athletics would have to answer because it is up to them. It's their dining hall. So
to cover everything else or go ahead and
oh yeah, so I noted, okay, somebody asked about where the dining halls are located. So we have 3 of them, Parkside, the USC Village Dining Hall, and EVK. EVK is over by McCarthy Quad, USC Village, obviously at the Village. And then Parkside is over in the corner of campus by Vermont and Exposition. And then let's see, the other one was, oh, somebody was asking about Panda Express, the tofu, asking about the tofu and eggplant entree. Oh, if it fit within the guidelines. Yeah, so the problem with Panda is their sodium is quite high, which is common for a lot of Asian style cuisines because they use so much soy sauce. So unfortunately, it did not fit. And also it's really interesting that Panda Express, their corporate office, they do not consider any of the food to be vegetarian or plant-based, even though the ingredients are. I asked them this question once, why they do it that way, and they said, well, it's because of the cross-contamination. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. And let's see. Oh, I saw somebody ask if restaurants are going to be open in the summer. The offerings were a bit limited last year, and unfortunately, I believe they're also going to be limited this year again. However, EVK is open during the summertime. We're opening back up on May 20th. So great opportunity to check them out and maybe even use that to-go program with the reusable containers. And then the farmer's market, there was a lot of chat about the farmer's market. Because of orientation, the grass over at McCarthy Quad got destroyed. So they had to move the market through the end of March over behind the library by the alumni house. So yeah, unfortunately that had to move. Okay, so that's all that I looked at. Any more questions you're seeing, Julie?
One last one here. How much does it cost for a non-student to eat a meal at the dining hall?
Ooh, that is a good question, and I should have looked up that price. So it depends on if it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner. The hospitality website has all of those prices. Um, hold on, I'm looking it up real quick here. Scrolling. It is okay. Here we go. Breakfast is $11.79. Lunch is $15.79. Dinner is $15.99. And again, once you come inside the hall, if you're eating in, it is all you care to eat. If you're getting your food to go, you do have to fit, it's whatever you can fit in the container, and then you leave.
Great. And then one last thing is, can we sample any of these Eat Well meals?
Oh, that is a good question. So actually, we just started doing that last week at the farmers market. So we'll be out there this semester on selected dates. Last week what did we sample? The backyard harvest salad from Seeds. Assuming it's not a torrential downpour next week, at the farmers market, we will be sampling the guacamole bowl from Taco Taco. So and we do post, we advertise this information on our Instagram account, and that's at USC Campus Dining.
Great. Thank you so much, Lindsay. And if everyone can please fill out the evaluation, that would be great. The link is in the chat. Your feedback is really important to us. And please give us suggestions for future topics you'd like to hear. And with that, I'm going to stop sharing so we can do a raffle and let you get on with your day. Thank you all for attending. And the lucky raffle winner is, if we can see our wheel here, and we'll be in touch with you to coordinate delivery of your Trader Joe's gift card, which is what we're raffling off. Congratulations, Marta Galbano, our lucky winner for today. And with that, thank you everyone for attending, and we will see you next month. Eat well. Okay. Nice.